Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a brand new copy of Botanik, a two-player only tile placement game by Space Cowboys. I'm here to tell you 5 things that you need to know about this game. Number 1, the theme. So this game holds kind of a very different theme. New technology has recently been revealed by Beatrix Burry, allowing you to mechanically generate food. This is the answer to save the people of this world made of rust and toxic vapors. Players are posed against each other to develop their plan and grow this food. Whoever has the best producing machine will be promoted to head researcher, gaining trust of the people. Number 2, the game length. The game can be categorized as a filler game for only 2 players, and the game will take about 20 minutes to play. Great for when you are pressed on time, waiting on others to arrive for game night, or for an end-of-day brawl for 2. Number 3, the gameplay. The game is played in rounds with the starting player sliding the mecha pawn towards their side to indicate that they're the starting player. The top 3 tiles from the draw stack are revealed face up and placed in this area called the arrival area. In turn, starting with the first player, each player will choose one of the revealed tiles and play it on the registry. The player who is the starting player will play the first tile, the other player will then play the second tile, and then the first player will play the third tile. The mecha pawn will then be pushed towards the other player, and that next new player will start and will have 2 tiles in that round, while the other one will take 1. This way, both players will take the same amount of turns from round to round. When a player takes a tile from the arrival area to place in the registry, they can place it either on the central pile or on their side of the board. When they or you are placing the tile on your side, the space you will use must be free with no other tiles being there. And the tile that you place must link somehow to the central tile connecting in that column. For it to be considered a link, it must be either the same color or the same type, meaning the same design on that tile. These are examples of the same type of tiles, and these are examples of the same color. When placing on the central line, you can place it on any column even if there's already a tile there. You will just cover it up, placing your tile on top of it. After placing it, you will check the other tiles in that column to see if there is still a link with those tiles. Both the tile on your side and the tile on your opponent's side will be checked this way. If there is no longer a link because of the newly placed tile, then that tile is released to that player and can then be used to start their machine or to add on to their machine. Each player will then be releasing more and more tiles to add more and more tiles to their own machine to gain points. When building your machine, you will take any released tile from your side of the board to immediately add towards your machine, and these tiles must always be placed orthogonally adjacent to another. A pipe also can never be cut off from another tile that doesn't also present a pipe on that same side. And you can never completely close off your machine so that there's no pipe that can be connected anywhere. All released tiles have to be placed no matter what, and in the rare instance where there is no place to legally place it, then that tile is removed from the game. You'll want to place as many of the same colored pipe together so that those tiles, just the tiles, are touching each other. Not necessarily that they're connected through the pipe, but that their tiles are touching, as you will score more points this way. And you also want tiles with flowers touching another tile of the same color to also score you additional points. Now, there are also some special tiles in this game. These tiles have an illustrated person on them, and they're called Mecha Botanist tiles, and if you place one on your side or on the central pile, the rules will stay the same as placement. However, when a Mecha Botanist gets released on your side, it will trigger something different. You will immediately swap it for a tile from the top of a central pile of your choice. Players will continue placing tiles to their machine, and the mecha pawn will go back and forth until all tiles have been taken from the stack. The current round is then finished as normal, and players will score their points from their machines. Number 4, the scoring. The way that you get points in this game is very important as to how you play the game, so make sure that you understand what you're trying to do before being surprised at the end of the game. Tiles that are added to your machine need to be placed next to another already placed tile, but sometimes you won't be able to connect some tiles to your network. Any tiles not connected to your source through the pipes is removed from your play area. For each tile group of at least 3 tiles of the same color will score 1 point each. Then, each flower scores a point each if it is connected via a pipe to a tile of the same color. The player then with the most points wins the game. Number 5, my thoughts on the game. The game provides a very strategic puzzle for your brain to perform, and the tiles have just enough options for there to be almost always a possible place to lay it down in your machine. But timing and connecting certain tiles with another will definitely grant you either a lot or little points and give you results for those efforts. The puzzle of trying to connect the pipes together but also trying to place tiles of the same color together is tougher than you might think, but it's really satisfying when you just have the perfect tile to fulfill your plan and you place it right in there. Flower tiles are especially important in this game as they are ways to gain points, but they are also ways to create dead ends in your system, so they will greatly reward you. Yet, they can set you back if not used at the right time. I like the way that those Mecha Botanist tiles are combined in the game to give a little change up on the tiles and give additional bonuses, but the way that you get those bonuses can be very strategic as both players are manipulating the central column as well as their own side of the board, and this makes for some interesting choices for both players. The components in the game are good. The Mecha Pawn is fantastic in quality, better than I would have thought it would be, and ultimately the game creates a great 2-player duel of tile placement within a system that will grant points. The time involved in the game is just where you want it, the strategy is on the higher end, and the mechanics do just enough for this game to be a wonderful 2-player strategic filler game. So make the best machine to grow the most food with your family and friends in Botanik by Space Cowboys. Again, this is Board Game Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.